Welcome to the Dad Livin podcast. This isn't just a podcast, it's a movement. Hosted by four best friends who are dads first and storytellers second. We dive into the real, messy, hilarious side of fatherhood. From diaper disasters to teenage drama, work-life balance to building a legacy, we keep it real, fun, and meaningful. Whether you're a rookie dad or a pro, this is your weekly reminder you're not alone. Grab a drink, kick back, and join the conversation.
Let's go.
All right. Welcome everyone back to Dad Livin.
We're back, baby.
We're back.
Good to be back.
The
Yes,
foursome's
sir.
back.
Fearsome Four.
Back.
How about that?
Yeah. How about Fantastic Four?
Fantastic.
I felt
so
so
left
out.
That's trademarked, I think.
Just missed it.
Were you having some FOMO?
Yeah, a little bit. It's like, oh man, I had to miss that. The discussion you guys had when we were both gone, just you two, was awesome.
It was
Great.
Yeah.
I saw some
Did all
comments that people missed your voice though.
I know.
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was trying to get the sexy Brian and the deep voice.
You did.
You are sexy.
You made me blush on my way to work. I was like, that's a great episode.
Oh, that was fun. It was a little bit different.
A little different vibes.
Way different vibes.
Yeah.
And then we introduced our one-on-one with our dad series, which hopefully we'll get more of the dads up here. That was fun for me. And I've had quite a few people reach out wanting to be on the show. I know we've talked about that, just different dads saying, hey, like talk to me, interview me, which if you're out there, we'll incorporate it in. We're just trying to get the flow and the vibe for sure.
We'll get there.
Yeah, we'll definitely get there. But we're back from a short break.
Yeah.
All four of us today. So, and we're going to be talking about youth sports, which is, we're all in the heat of it right now with everything from hockey to soccer to football to baseball.
I just came from baseball practice.
Just came from baseball practice.
All the things.
Yeah.
It was what, parents versus kids?
Yeah,
Did
it's the last technically, yeah, I guess. But last practice of the year, they made it a little fun scrimmage, parents versus kids, and it was a blast.
Did
So,
you
couldn't
dominate
miss
them?
that. What's that?
Did you dominate them?
Well, we just played wiffle ball, so we dominated as much as we could.
Yeah.
Sliding into the second baseman. The
Exactly.
8-year-old second baseman.
Yeah.
Funny story really quick. So we did this for soccer a couple years ago, and this one dad showed up with cleats, and like nobody knew this guy. He never showed up. And out of nowhere, he comes lacing them up, and he's going full speed against these kids, just trucking them over. We're like, dude, slow down. We're trying to let them win. What are you doing?
This is his moment in the sun, baby.
Yeah, that was
watch all these parents
reliving the
gonna love
glory
it.
days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh goodness.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah.
Man.
Well,
holy
before
cow.
before we get too far, we have a sponsor for this show. our good friend Bob Madden out there. Thank you, Bob.
Has he been watching?
He's been watching.
You see
He's
this?
been
Thank you,
listening.
Bob.
Yeah. He's supplying all
Supply
of
their
our
drinks
beverages
tonight,
this evening. So
Here's
here's a
to
cheers.
Bob.
Thanks,
Thanks, Bob. Sponsor
Bob.
of the week. Sponsor of the week. And if there's anybody else that would like to supply alcohol or any other things,
Yeah.
feel free to reach out to us on any of our social medias or filling out the form. We'd love to hear from you, and we would always be willing to
Yeah,
accept.
and we'll give you a shout out.
Yeah, shout out,
definitely.
sponsor, you name it. We're pretty open right now
Yeah.
with our terms.
We're really cheap. Like, if you want to get in on the ground floor, now's
I
the
mean,
time.
Barstool's going to be calling any day, so
Yeah.
get in while you can.
That's right. That's right.
Ground floor.
All right. All right. Well,
yeah.
thanks again, Bob.
Yeah, Bob,
Appreciate you.
you the man. And I think as we kind of talk about this, obviously we talk a lot about youth sports, and there's a lot of statistics out there that girls' participation is up, boys' participation is down, and that's an interesting statistic. I think the biggest thing, and I think for us as parents too, what I found crazy, which I'm living it right now, is the cost of sports is up 46%.
That sounds low.
Since 2013.
Yeah.
It doesn't it? It
That
seems
sounds
low,
Yeah.
but on average, you'll spend $1,000 per year on
I wish
one
mine was
kid,
$1,000.
Wow. Yeah.
right?
We're
that.
definitely not there yet. We're still doing like the CYCs and things. So
Oh,
costs
yeah,
are
God bless.
down, at least
Yeah.
there. It's not that.
You know,
But
like if
wow,
you play
I can't even imagine.
3 sports year round,
Yeah,
right.
or-
Yeah.
I guess
I could
that's
see that.
true.
Yeah. It adds up, and I think, we'll talk about different sports. Dwight and I have kids in ice hockey, which that is easily the most costly. And I think there's some cost effective solutions there. Football, we talked about it, I think, a little bit on one of our episodes, just how unavailable it was growing up for us. And now, you have your son playing football, which is incredible. Then we got fall ball. I mean, there's a lot of cool things, and then soccer obviously going on. So we'll talk about everything around today, and just bringing our own experience in and talking about some of those things.
Sounds good.
But yeah.
Before we get to that, we should intro in Superdad of the Week.
Superdad of the week.
All right, let's keep it going. It's been a big hit so far.
Yeah.
So instead of reaching out in the headlines, we're just going to bring it on into the inner circle and nominate our very own Doug Yoko.
Woohoo.
Superdad
Thank you.
Well done.
the week, but really the last 2 months.
Yeah,
So
really. Yeah, Superdad of.
obviously, Doug, you've mentioned this on the episodes several times, but he's been solo dad and pretty much since we've debuted the podcast,
Yep.
right?
Perfect timing, right?
So, dude, wife's been gone on a work training for 2 months,
2 months.
holding down the fort, solo dadding. I don't know
Amazing.
how you did it, man.
Yeah, amazing.
I'm sure you had some rough days, rough nights, but
Yeah.
you did it, man.
You
Good
did
job.
it. Yeah,
Hell
yeah.
yeah.
We should salute
Congratulations,
you.
man.
Oh,
Definitely a big salute for that.
I couldn't have done it without you guys keeping me sane through some of these. I mean, I think talking about it helps. Talk about communication. I think that's the linchpin in everything that we do. And obviously talking about those frustrations.
Yeah.
Having a few drinks, even though I'm not drinking tonight, because I decided to pull off the Band-Aid and jump into our fitness thing. I was like, I'm going to start that right when Kel gets home.
It's
And
a good way to start is no alcohol because it's just useless calories.
and well, you
As
know,
I have my third drink here.
right? Hey, you know what?
Right back at you. Cheers.
But it's like, I think for me, I mean, there was just a lot, but it was fun. A lot of memories with the kids where I started as I was downloading with Kel on the way down. We drove from Washington, DC. We had a lot of time to have conversations and reflect while the kids were hanging out. We stopped in Columbus and of course I didn't realize it was the Ohio State homecoming. Right, perfect timing. But we found an awesome hotel with a pool. After 7 hours of driving, it's like the perfect thing for kids to do is just let's get some pizza. The hotel had a taco party that night, which was great. Had some beverages, and it was just awesome to see the kids kind of be themselves and enjoy that while I was with Kel. So it was fun.
That's
It was
awesome.
fun.
So I'm
Well
sure-
done, man.
Yeah, I'm sure you're glad it's over, but you made the memories along the way. So
Right.
congratulations.
I'm sure we got some dads out there might be divorced or full-time solo dads. I mean, what was that like? What, advice would you have to give to anybody, or just what was the experience like? I mean, what was the toughest thing you had to go through?
Well, the toughest thing personally I had to go through was just reaching out. I mean, reaching out for help.
Asking for help.
I'm not. You guys all know this. I'm not one to put a burden on someone, and I think I got to the point where it was like, hey, I need to do this, or I need to run errands, or I need to do laundry. Like some of the little things that we all take for granted with our significant other.
Yeah.
Because like we have time to do that. I couldn't, and it was the last weekend. The kid who cuts our grass, neighborhood kid, had a concussion from football. He plays high school football, and it's like, yeah, man, you can't cut my grass. My grass is long; it needs to be done. So guess what I had to do? It was 98 degrees. I had to cut the grass. I was exhausted. I had to do grocery shopping and laundry. So I reached out to my parents, and I'm not normally like that, and saying, "Hey, I just need some time." And my parents understood, and I that was the biggest barrier for me to overcome, is just to reach out and ask for help. And I think the second thing was just talking about some of the challenges, which I was able to do with you guys. Like you guys lived it kind of
Yeah, vicariously
with me,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So that really helped too. So I think just those 2 points, talking about the challenges. I mean, kids are such a blessing out there, and a challenge with having kids or working through it. Kids are a blessing. I think we all can agree on that. But it can be tough sometimes with a 5 and a 6-year-old, a lot of needs, and it's a constant like, hey, like let's do this, let's do that. So you want to soak it in and make those memories.
Yeah. You don't want to waste time.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you gotta also to take some time for yourself, and that's the hardest struggle for me because I want to give every ounce to them every single minute of every single day. But what happens Sunday night when I need to recharge and reset? I'm stressed because I'm trying to do laundry, clean up the dishes, clean up the house,
Sure.
and get ready for
Get
the
ready
work
for
week.
work. Yeah.
That can be mentally tough. So
Right.
that's what I learned probably in the first couple weekends. And if you're a solo parent out there, yeah, I mean, you're probably going through the challenges and you can relate. So drop us a comment as you listen to this, and love to hear your thoughts.
I mean, I'm lucky. We have a lot of help with the kids with our parents, and I don't know how we would do without them. God, I'm sure we've all felt like this where things are so crazy. You just wish you'd had that time back to yourself. But like, it's hard to think about that in the moment. But there's gonna be a time where they're grown up and they're gone. The house is quiet,
Yeah.
and you're gonna miss those crazy
Yeah, chaotic.
times. So yeah.
No. And that's what I just try to ground it in, like, this is good times, like all the emotions and all those things that came too. I mean, yeah, I don't know why I got emotional for a bit there. There's a lot of stuff going on and we talked about, but still it's like, okay, I'm gonna go home, I'm gonna turn off work, and I'm gonna be with the kids and have fun and ask them about their day and do all those things that I need to do that Cal typically asks, or go through their folder and comment on their art, or rather than just coming home and shutting off everything. So
Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably, I mean, just hearing that was probably good for you to learn because it's probably, you've done it now for 2 months. It's probably going to be ingrained in you now as well to continue to do some of those things that you learned and built upon over those 2 months. So
yeah,
I think that's good for anybody to hear, right? Like,
yeah,
continue to do those things, be present, communicate, enjoy those moments. I know just since we've started doing this podcast, like, I've taken a lot from everything you guys have said and trying to be more present and do some of the things that we've discussed. And, I think this has been super therapeutic just for myself too, to
Yeah.
learn and absorb as well. Being four friends, we don't talk about all this stuff all the time, but we're talking on a different level and learning things that I'm taking into my day to day now. And it's been really helpful. So thanks for sharing that, and
yeah.
well done and surviving 2 months, because I don't know if I could. So
Salute.
yeah, one more
I
time.
appreciate
Yeah.
you guys.
Yeah.
You know that.
So youth sports.
Yeah.
Youth
Yep.
sports. All right. Yeah. I mean, I think for all of us, we're in it, and we have different ages, different ranges, across the board. And I mean, I've even talked to a lot of people around like high school sports and the challenges that brings in a positive way, and the commitment that takes. But what are your guys' thoughts right off the bat? I think there's this big thing before we dive into individual. What are your guys' thoughts on like the burnout of kids sports? Because we talked about that briefly before this episode. I think that's a good place to start, because more so kids are burning out of sports because they're pushed too hard, or what you always hear that in that mindset, like the parents wanted to be pro, and now
And
now
now
they
they're
can push their
trying to
Yeah.
kids.
live
I need to
vicariously
have
through
a
their kids.
superstar.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
yeah.
I mean,
Which I think every parent dreams of that. Like, oh, little Johnny's going to be a baseball player, I mean, burnout personally, I went through that as a teenager. I played 3 sports year round. I played select soccer for a few years, and that was such a time burden where, physically too, like I got to the point where I was having like overuse injuries with my knees. And the doctor's like, hey, either you're gonna have to go under the knife, or like you're gonna have to like peel, like take it easy, like give up a sport or something. I'm like, well, I don't want to get surgery. So I eventually got so burnt out, I just quit everything. And looking back, it was one of my biggest regrets, because I mean, there was a couple sports I loved playing,
Mm-hmm.
and then soccer I liked playing, but I didn't love it. So I took off everything, I think, right when we got to high school. And then I was doing things I shouldn't have been doing, and freed up all my time to get in trouble.
Yeah.
yeah,
You know?
Uh,
And I missed it. So I went back out for baseball and basketball again, and I got passed by, and I kept trying and trying to go back. And I remember was it junior year you and I both went out for baseball?
junior year. Yeah.
And I remember going through this with you. Like, we made it through the first week of tryouts, and usually that
I
means
think
you're
the second week.
yeah, we got through the second week, and that usually means you're on the team. And then we both got pulled aside, and we're like, "Hey guys, since you're juniors and you're both outfielders, we are going to have 4 senior starters, and there's not a spot for you." And I just remember being so heartbroken, and I remember going to the baseball games and watching. Those guys sucked, but they made the team because they were seniors, you know.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I wish I would have kept playing rec ball just because I love baseball. It was fun. And I think that's what's getting ripped away from kids too early is just they're taking the fun out of everything. There's so much pressure to be the best and make the high level team. And, you know, especially like my oldest he just turned 9. He's the same grade as your kid. Like, you got to remember, like, they want to have fun.
They're not.
Yeah.
They're 9 years old. It's
I
fine.
mean, I've seen some kids where, I mean, this is like ball is life. They love playing. That's great. But I think too, at the same time, like, well, they still need to have a childhood.
Yeah.
Right.
Something else besides that sport.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. How did you, I mean, Doyman you were a successful D1 athlete.
Fairly high level. Yeah.
Yeah. You were captain on an ice hockey team on a very competitive level. How did you not burn out through all that stuff? Did you have fun the whole ride?
I did. I enjoyed it the whole time. My parents there's 4 of us. I got 3 sisters, and my parents were just blue collar people. My dad was a bricklayer. My mom was a nurse. It got to the point where I was like probably 11 or 12. They were like, "Hey man, you got to pick a sport. You can't play." I was playing soccer, baseball, hockey, and I think we played basketball.
You tried basketball.
Tried, yeah, I wasn't very good at that.
Because you were 6 foot.
You fouled out every game.
Yeah. And so I just kind of narrowed my focus and did it. And I didn't play on any extra teams or select teams and stuff weren't as big of a deal back in the 90s and stuff like they are now. So it just allowed me to not get too burnt out, I guess. I'd say maybe a little bit in college. I was starting to get burned out a little bit, but man, as soon as it was over, I missed it, you know, like, dang.
Right.
But playing at that level, I think, is also, you know, a lot of these parents that are pushing their kids to like be the best and do that, they never played at a high level, so they don't really know what it takes. Like when you've played at a high level or you've seen guys maybe even better than you, and you didn't attain that level, you know that like, dude, the chance of this kid making it to the NHL or even like super high level is very, very small.
Right.
So I've really taken that to heart of like, okay, I am not going to pressure my kid to, you know, hey, you need to try out for this team because if you want to get a D1 scholarship, you got to do this, this, and this. It's like probably not going to happen regardless. So like, let's just enjoy it and have a good time. And my son, who plays ice hockey, made a lower team last year than, honestly, I mean, I'm not just being a dad. He got put on a lower team than he should have been. And he had an absolute blast. He loved all the kids that he played with. He scored a bunch of goals. And I realized at that point, it's like, man, these kids don't care what level they're playing at this age. They just go out and have a good time. You know, it's like, it's the parents that care. You know, that's really how it is. It's always the parents. Right. The kids aren't like, hey, Dad, I want to play AAA. It's usually not how it goes.
Yeah.
And that's a good point. That's a good point. And the fact, I was looking at some statistics, and we're going through this, you know, personally with one of our nieces who's very competitive volleyball and got up to the high school level and just quit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I was looking at some of those things. This was even before we had the show planned. And 70% of athletes, when they get to the high school level, drop out.
Yes.
Yeah. And one of the biggest things is they're not having fun, but they lose control of like really their destiny. Because you have asshole coaches out there. You have people that make such a big impact. They feel like they lose control of that.
Yeah.
And what's the reaction in someone that's not maybe as developed as an adult is they quit.
Mm-hmm.
And
well, like we experienced the politics side of it, you know. I mean, we got cut because we weren't a senior. And you know, so like I see this with a lot of the club baseball teams now. Like everybody wants to be on the club team because, like, whether it's Rolling Tigers, it's a local one. It's like, it's not that they're the best players. Like they're paying 5 times the amount of money just to wear the cool jerseys, or like they got a friend that's on that team, so they want to be with them. Like, it doesn't mean it's going to make them a better player, you know? And like, even if you're on
a business,
say like you're the best kid on a rec team, but then you get moved up to that club team and like now you're riding the bench, you know? And what really I'm struggling with is like, I don't want him to quit. I want him to keep playing and find his stride. But it's like, to make the high school team at this point, you have to be on the club teams. You have to play year round. You have to go to all these camps. There's so much pressure. And like, I think that's the burnout and the losing the fun of part of it. And so it's like, I don't know. I don't know what to do at this point. We're going to figure it out, because he's getting to that age where you're starting to see like, man, there is a huge gap in talent where you can't deny it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they're still learning the game.
There's always going to be like a rec league for him, though. Like,
Right.
I'm assuming baseball's the same way, because hockey, like the rec leagues, or we call them the club teams, which is different than baseball. You can play it up until you're 18. Like, even if you don't play high school hockey, like you can still play for just the fun teams or whatever. So there's always going to be something for him to do. I think you just need to make that decision of whether he's going to be like, on this competitive side or more on the recreational side, because not every kid wants to be the super competitive, like fighting for their spot. That's stressful.
Yeah.
Now,
I can't even imagine.
Yeah. Now, do you guys think, and I'd love to get your thoughts, because you didn't play a whole lot of sports kind of growing up. One of the biggest things I was talking about with, funny thing, I'm going to bring Bobby back into it, Bobby Madden, who we gave a shout out to, because his son's playing on ice hockey. Bobby never played ice hockey, but I did. And so I'm one of the assistant coaches on there. Obviously, like, I'm going to teach all the kids and my kid to play, but I'm also out there like, hey, man, like, Gus, hold your stick right here. I'm kind of correcting it. I'm catching myself on like little things, because he's having a blast out there.
Right.
But Bobby said something to me like, hey, this is a sport I never played, so I don't have any expectations. He's just going out there and having fun. If he wants to succeed, great. And if not, then, he tried. And I was like, wow, that was such a cool thing. At what level, like for you, like, because your kids are in sports, they're in soccer, they play basketball, you talked about the football, which I thought that was the coolest thing, that the NFL sponsors that and has the jerseys. Those, by the way, those jerseys were freaking awesome. Like, what's your take on that?
Yeah,
Like, how do you approach that?
So my upbringing is a little odd. So I wanted to play, to say the least. Love you, mom and dad, but let's just be honest. When it came to sports, I was enrolled and I would play, but my parents would also be the ones that would be like, oh, we're not taking you to practice, or we don't feel like going to that game. So there was a lack of commitment, even though I wanted to. So I played some sports. I played, basketball in the high school. I got burnt out. It wasn't the thing I wanted to do. I played the politics side of it and made the team, but I rode the bench. And just the grind and the things I was missing out on was not something that I was okay missing out on for what I was getting in return.
Yeah.
So I up and quit during a practice when we were running sprints until we threw up. And I was like, fuck this.
Yeah.
I'm not going to throw up
Right,
over
yeah.
basketball. Like, this is the dumbest thing I've ever done. So at that point I quit. And from there, it's always been, I'll jump into things and, play here or there, but never was, not the, I guess, most super competitive. For me, I'm looking at this totally different for the kids. I'm trying to bring them into sports and let them try a number of different things to find out what sticks. And then based on that, I'm holding them to the commitment of, you joined a team and you're going to see that through. And this is what it means to be on a team. Haven't had to do that with Lincoln thus far, but I was just telling you guys before we got on here, Charlotte playing soccer, she's played it a couple seasons now. We thought she really loved it. She, in fact, scored her first goal this weekend.
Nice.
So I was like, Charlotte, how's it going? And she's like, I don't want to play anymore. She's like, I don't want to go to games. I don't want to go to practice. And I talked to her. I was like, look, I totally get that, but you've got a commitment to your team. You signed up to play. People depend on you. You need to see this through. But after that, we'll absolutely reconsider and do something else. So that's how I'm kind of looking at this whole thing, because I want to make sure that if you start something, you finish something. It's not something I ever really got to do. And then with Lincoln, I mean, we're looking at everything and he's loving it all right now. And right now it's good because he's in first grade. So the skill level's all over the place, but I can tell you he's not the worst player on any of the teams that he's on. So that makes us happy. And you can see now, like, as he's been playing, he's building confidence. He's scored goals in soccer. We just wrapped up football. I mean, I'm going to give him a big shout out. I got it was amazing. His last 2 games, he scored 4 touchdowns and
Hey.
an interception, and he couldn't even catch a football when we first started. So
That's awesome.
he was determined to be like, Dad, let's throw the ball, let's catch, let's do these things.
The
And
kids are throwing
it all
it to each
paid
other?
off. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
He was playing quarterback.
That's
like
awesome.
That's
he was even
crazy.
raising his hand to start playing quarterback. He was making throws. I was like, in a very short amount of time. So that was really neat to see.
Yeah.
You know, he's committed. He was super upset that it was already over. We'll see what happens next year, but I'm not going to pressure him either. If the opportunity comes, I'm going to make sure he's aware. If he wants to sign up, great. We'll see that through. But that's where we're at least in a very young age of still trying to explore. But I think we've got to anchor to some things here pretty soon. But that's my history of sports and kind of where I netted out and where I'm trying to course correct, at least with my kids, to make sure that they understand and are getting the true, reasoning of what it is to be on a team, what you learn from being on a team, and all that good stuff. So
I think you
that's-
hit, I mean,
that's
that's a
what's
great
important.
approach. I think you hit on it right there. Like at a young age, just learning the importance of teamwork, camaraderie,
Mhm.
and just having fun, exercising and playing a sport and learning a game. It's so fun to see when they get that taste of success and it lights them up and like, oh, that was fun. I want to do that again. You know?
Yeah. I mean, I got it one more time because just football was amazing with this kid. But we had my grandparents come out, Granny and Pop, and he saw them and said, I'm going to score a touchdown. And like 2 plays later, scored a touchdown and was like, thumbs up, looking at the crowd. I was like, who is this kid? Like, this is amazing.
awesome.
So it was really cool.
That's
But
awesome.
yeah, he's learning a lot
Yeah.
about that. And, the football aspect was really cool because there was multiple times where they go to huddle and somebody, one of his teammates would be over here and he'd be pulling him in close.
Yeah.
And it's like, he's getting that feel and starting to understand those things.
Has he wanted to watch more football with you now?
Oh yeah, everything. So yeah, he played on the Lions. That was his team for football. So now that's our NFC team. We're watching the
Nice.
Lions now pretty regularly.
Love it.
So yeah, it's being able to bring that home now and watch football has been really cool too.
That's
So,
awesome.
Yeah.
Well, and I love that you touched on like pushing on the fact of like holding that commitment. I've done the same thing with our kiddos and Gus with soccer. Soccer wasn't his thing, even though he was really good at it. He never had fun with it. I never liked soccer, but I stepped back, and I think too for him it was just like, hey, we need to see this through. Now, granted, he scored a bunch of goals, had some fun, but he got done with that season. He goes, okay, I'm good. I don't want to do it anymore. I said, perfect. You made the commitment to your team.
Yep.
Yep.
You're being a good teammate, and like that's so important for kids to understand that commitment level and just saying, okay, I need to see this through. Now, on the flip side, I have another question for you guys. Do you feel like if your kid's really good, maybe they lose their way a little bit? As parents, what type of pressure, I want to say positive pressure, to help guide them and coach them, do you feel like is applicable to that?
Like to stay with it?
To stay with it.
Yeah. I think it goes back to like, if you've started it, you definitely need to finish it. I think we've established that. But like, I'm a firm believer, and you just already said this too. It's like you have to be involved in something, because if you're not involved in something, you're going to get up to things that you shouldn't be. What do they say? Like idle hands, the devil's playground, whatever that's saying. And I was always involved in stuff, and I wasn't like a goody two shoe by any stretch, but I didn't really get in trouble either because I didn't have any time to get in trouble. I was always doing something. So I think just looking at it from that point of view, like keep your kids busy in some type of activity so they're not just trying to wander around and figure out what can I do to occupy my time, because for young teenagers, tweens or whatever, like it's going to lead to bad things, maybe not horrible things, but maybe the police getting called or whatever else, getting involved with the wrong type of people. I think we all experience that as kids, like getting involved with the wrong type of people. Maybe they're older now and they're not quite where they should be or whatever. I can probably name a few names of those types of people. So I think it's important to keep them the positive pressure, like, hey, I don't really care what you do, but you need to do something, like some type of extracurricular activity. And that's where I've been with my kids, because my daughter really struggled to find what she wanted to do. Like she tried everything, and we just like, oh my gosh, we got to find something that she loves. And she finally found it. She started cheerleading this year, and she just absolutely loves it. And so it's like, okay, good. We got something that we can hold on to, and we can kind of, shape her around this and keep her, focused and not doing things she's not supposed to be doing. Because she's getting to that age, she's going to be 12 coming up. So it's getting to that point where they're going to have some more freedom and some more time. And kids aren't exactly the brightest creatures sometimes, as we all know from experience. They make bad
Yes.
decisions learning how to do things. So
Right.
And like, I don't think there should be so much pressure on like, you have to be good at any sport.
Yeah.
Like you said, extracurricular activities. Brody decided he didn't want to play soccer this year. I think he's regretting it right now, and he might go back. That's fine. We gave it a long ride, and you know, it kind of killed me because at the end of the last year's outdoor session, the last couple games, he was like, he had so much fun. He even said, he's like, that's the most fun I've ever had playing soccer. I'm like, great, cool. Do you want to keep going? Yeah. So we did 2 indoor sessions, and it was just like too long. It was like it stretched it out, it was just dragging it out. And he's like, I don't want to play soccer again. Like, okay. But then last weekend, at my daughter's soccer game, his old team was playing right after. So he's hanging out with all of his old soccer buddies.
Yeah.
He wanted to stay and watch them. And I could just tell he's like, I want to be out there, man. Like,
Yeah.
you know,
You
So-
get that itch, yeah.
instead of soccer this year, we got him into Cub Scouts, trying that out. And then he's going to join a chess team.
Nice.
He-
Yeah. That's
he-
big in St. Louis for anybody that
He
doesn't know.
freaking
It's-
loves. He's been playing it the last couple of years.
Yeah.
Like, I never played chess. He had to teach me how to do
Yeah.
it, and he's great at it. So, you know, is it going to make him a little more nerdy? Maybe, you know. But like, I'm just happy
No.
he's trying other
Something.
things,
That's-
right?
yeah.
Keeping busy, and you know, like you said,
And that's good. That's
Dude,
good.
didn't we have like a Chinese buffet club like in high school?
We
like,
did.
I had to
For
worry
real?
about being dirty.
Yes.
Yeah, like just do
Hey,
anything.
damn, where was
Yeah,
I?
you guys don't
that
remember
must have
that?
been when I quit basketball and started making bad decisions
Maybe.
because I
Maybe.
wasn't involved in any.
It was Maniaci who started it
Yeah.
because he got a petition through.
He would.
Oh my God, not Dr. Knost, who's the Dr. Harris, who was our principal,
Yeah.
and he okayed it. And our whole goal was to
Yeah.
go to Chinese buffets, try to flood them,
Yeah,
and try
eat
to
them
eat them
dry.
out of food.
Yeah, eat them dry. That was the whole purpose.
And we did it once.
Yeah.
oh,
we did
man.
it once,
Should
and
have
it
done
was
that.
No
so
joke, right?
exciting. That was
It was short lived.
It was
Yeah,
short
of
lived.
course,
It was a club that once again probably we had a little bit too much time in high school,
That's
but it was
hilarious.
fun. It was fun.
That's good.
I think so. Kind of going back to that because I live a couple sides of the story. I felt like growing up, and you know I've talked to my dad about this. You know maybe I could have been pushed a little bit more when I had that passion. Baseball. Once again, I felt like I kind of let myself go to hockey, and I quit baseball a little prematurely. And when you lose that gap, I mean, once I got into it, I was always passionate about it.
Yeah.
Always loved it. And like to your point, once you got back into it, it's like, holy shit. Now they're throwing sliders and curveballs and like change ups. Holy crap. Like, how the hell am I going to hit this? Just that gap of being out of it for 2 or 3 years completely changed everything about the game for me. And it made it now I have to work 100 times harder to get there when I felt like, and I could be wrong, I was like leading the pack when I was playing. I hit home runs with no problem. I was easily any defensive position, and I felt like maybe myself not being as mature as I should. I said I'm going to quit, and my dad probably did what 99% of my parents probably did what 99% of parents would do and say, okay, if that's your decision, that's your decision. I felt like maybe it could have been pushed a little bit, like at least pushed or tried a different route, like burnout. So when my daughter came up to that with soccer, similar thing. She had a blast. You could definitely tell she had some challenges on the field. And I mean, we're talking kindergarten, first grade, like you're pushing them to have fun and that's it. But you could tell she was having fun and she always wanted to try. And at the end of the season, she's like, well, I'm going to do soccer, but I don't know. I don't know what. It's like, okay, well, let's do an indoor league. That killed every ounce of soccer spirit in her bone. It was
Really?
it was horrible.
Usually they like
It was
I
it
think
was
our
it was not instructive or fun at all for her. And we kind of had to take a step back, and she still wanted to do it and had to try a different route. So we went with a kind of development camp, and it started last winter, and it was Kolping, which is a local kind of club area. You want to talk about the most energetic and interactive thing for kids. They had different areas with actual people that knew soccer, like really good people. that have played soccer the whole life, and it was so fun for her. She did that in the winter and the spring, and she came back to her league right now, and she's just a different person. I think it taught her that you don't always have to be a goal scorer. You kind of find your spot, and she's incredible at defense. Like, she is the girl who someone's just dribbling up the side, and if they kick it just a little bit too far, she just pounces on that ball. And it's so fun to watch her because she gets so excited
Yeah.
over breaking up a defensive play, and her coaches are just, granted, they're incredible coaches too, so it really helps having that coaching, kind of guidance there. But I mean, it's so fun watching her, and I'm glad that I didn't take my foot off the gas. I didn't pressure by any means, but I think Kelly and I just trying to understand, hey, maybe this is the burnout. Maybe it's playing games and it's not having fun. Like, let's try some different stuff out there. So that was my kind of takeaway from there. It's like, challenge your kid. Maybe, I know I was definitely burnt out at the time. Hockey was the big thing. And I remember it was the time where we had the Wolverines roller hockey team, which we had a bunch of our best friends playing roller hockey. And my dad's like, well, you want to be on 3 teams, you got to give up something. Like, it was always that, which rightfully so. My dad worked his ass off for a paycheck, and my mom did too. And I know it cost them a lot for that. So I understand the why, but I also, like, in that situation, it's like, do you really want to lose baseball? Like, are you burnt out? Like, you're just having a sit down conversation over it, and then finding maybe a different path, or maybe saying, hey, I understand these games are rigorous, or this is challenging, but what if we do this, or what if we try this? I think would have helped me mentally. So just
Now, as far as giving them a push, like, all I ever tell both my kids is just try hard, try your best, and then have fun.
Yeah.
And the rest of this is going to work itself out. And when they are feeling that burnout, or they don't want to go to a game or practice, just like, I try to get them to focus on the fun times they've had. I'm like, okay, yeah, okay, I get that. As far as, like, pushing them as far as skill and instructional, like, some of these leagues are bullshit. Like, we did, like, the I-9 leagues was kind of like the introductory, and like, they're like, you just sign up and they're just like, okay, who wants to coach? Like, okay, I guess I'm coaching now, Yep. So when they finally get to, like, work on their skills at practice and then see it in a game, like, that is a confidence boost. And I think that is some of the fun that ties into it for them. I always wanted to play hockey growing up. We played, like, street hockey was big around here.
Oh yeah.
And my parents were like, well, because my dad grew up playing hockey and he knew the financial and the time commitment. He's like, okay, you want to play hockey? You got to quit all your other sports. I'm like, I don't really want to do that. I guess I'm just not going to play hockey. So I had to sell for street hockey, but
But street hockey was fun.
Oh man,
I know.
you never see that around anymore, dude. We'd get the whole neighborhood together.
Yeah, you get the whole neighborhood together to play really any sport. Like,
I remember doing it on your
street. Like,
street.
We had
Hockey.
some awesome football games in our neighborhood.
Oh yeah.
God, yeah. Brosh's backyard. That was so fun.
Yeah.
I mean, granted,
back in the common
there would
ground
be
area,
like
that was fun.
someone limping off with a broken leg or whatever it was. I mean, it was hardcore tackle.
We got
with no
physical.
pads. But I've been pushing the kids to say, hey, go bring the nets out. We have a couple kids that are big into sports and they play, and it's like, oh my God, it reminds me of the old times in your subdivision with the hockey nets and just someone with the Milik goalie pads sliding down, all that stuff. Oh my God.
I mean, maybe that's what's missing the most for this generation. Like, sports, playing outside after school, that was just part of what we did. Now it's, I mean, maybe it's just too much of a chore for them.
Organized. Yeah, I think it's your point.
organized.
Yeah. There isn't time to go play that because you're getting hauled off to your club or select or whatever it is, league or in practice, and that's where everybody's at, unfortunately.
And probably another hot take, and this is something I'm noticing a lot, and I want to bounce this off you guys for the last little bit. Parents setting the example. Like, we talk about that so many times. Technology playing an impact. I feel like a lot of parents, and I've seen a lot of parents, I'm not going to say like there's a percentage around it, but the fact that people are on their phones and not outside playing, I've seen it so many times that, like, people are like, oh, well, I'm not that good, or I'm not that. Toss the football around with them, or kick the soccer ball with them. Go out and have fun. And I guarantee you 2 things are going to happen. You're going to create memories, and guess what? The kids are going to have fun. And you're probably going to give us some some nonchalant coaching lessons are out there, but you're going to have a blast. And that's what I've been doing with my kids. And I've even seen it with my daughter and my son, where my daughter will kind of take my son who plays hockey to school playing, street hockey, and I'll be out there. And then she came up to me and was like, I want to play. I'm like, you want to play? So I signed her up for Learn to Play.
Yeah.
Because sorry, Gus, she kicked the crap out of you. She was scoring goals, took goal and stick handling. And like, you could just tell she had this rhythm. And I was just, at that point, I had my stick. I was sitting back. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, that's great.
And that was a fun memory for me. And it was exciting for her. And I remember the moment she came running up to me and was like, I want to play. So I feel like there's not enough of that.
Yeah. I mean, agree with all that, and even taking it outside of just sports. Like, I've really tried to make, even when you don't want to and you're exhausted and your kids ask you to go play and do something outside, I make sure I get my ass up most times. Look, we all have our moments, but like, get out there and go do what they want to do. If it's tag, if it's hide and seek, but we try to get outside. Football, soccer, all the things that we're doing, because it does. Most of the time we end up at the end laughing and giggling about something funny that happened. We're making good memories. And in my opinion, you're teaching them that there's other things to do that's outside of the house, that's physical, and it's good for your well-being. And your perfect example just happened with us in reverse. We were playing football. Lincoln wanted to throw the ball around. Charlotte came up out of nowhere and was like, hey, throw it to me. So she started getting in, and we were teaching her how to throw a spiral. And like, so then all three of us were playing, and it was really cool to be able to do that thing. So, I mean, we've talked about it when we discussed, fitness and that, and trying to set the good example. This is the same thing that happens, is getting outside, doing something good for yourself. It not only is good for your kids, it's good for yourself and your well-being. And there's a lot of things that get taken from that. And, you're setting the right example.
Well, I mean, that's the biggest way men bond with their kids. I mean, moms are more, hugs and cuddles and kisses. And I'm not saying dads shouldn't do that either, but the studies have shown men bond with, especially their sons, through rough and tumble play, wrestling around, chasing them around, playing tag. Like, probably once a week, he's like, Dad, can we play fight? We've done this for years now. It's like he just wants to have a little wrestling match with me. It's just like, they got so much energy they need to burn, and boys are like going through these testosterone spikes where they need an outlet, whether it's that or playing sports or,
the wrestling thing is real, man. We do that a lot, and it's always thrown into like a beanbag and getting crazy. And
now his sister wants to get in on it, and they end up getting too rough, and we got
I get all three of them on me.
Mom comes in and
joke
comes down on you. What are you doing?
Why did Colton just fly across the room? It wasn't me.
He's fine.
It always ends with somebody crying.
Always, but it's still fun.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I think this was a fun segment.
Yeah, it was.
Real quick, you touched on the financial aspect. I don't think
we didn't touch on that.
Even if you're not playing club sports, like, so Brody needed a new baseball bat we're doing fall ball right now. We're at the end of it, but he really outgrew it. It looked like he was holding a coach is like, yeah, man, because he borrowed another kid's bat in a game and he smoked it. He's like, yeah, it's the bat.
Of course it's the bat.
So like, I always go to like Play Against Sports, the resale shop.
We've been doing,
I see some of the brand new bats they have there that the other kids had. They're $300-$400 bats. I'm like, dude, they outgrow it after one season. Like, I just can't believe people are spending that money on it. And like, at that age, the bats aren't gonna make that big of a difference.
Wow.
So whether it's, the equipment, even if you're playing CYC, the equipment on top of that, it is getting kind of out of control. So
it is. I mean, heck, it just in general, like I have to talk about hockey stick. I have to buy Gus a hockey stick, and it's like, all right.
Did you go look?
Not yet. I have my.
Wait, I'm not even going to tell you.
I have my feelers out on a couple of used Facebook marketplace.
That takes me like almost a whole day of work to earn enough to buy a hockey stick for an 8-year-old. Now you can get cheaper ones. I'm talking about for the most expensive ones.
Right.
Like I was able to find Shane one for, around $50 or so, which I still thought was expensive because my sticks when I played were like 20. Now I realized it was a long time ago, but still.
Well, yeah, but now they're all like one-piece composites where if they break, they're done.
Yeah.
Correct.
The old ones, you had the aluminum shaft and the blade.
Yeah. Right. Now kids don't the little guys don't break them like the adults do, because you're not putting, you know, I'm not putting 240 pounds into it like I am. So it's a little bit different. But yeah,
Oh, dude,
the
next
adult
level.
sticks are over $400 now if you want a top of the line. Over $400. Like, who's buying these? Who's buying these?
I mean,
Because
the
all
only
the guys that are playing like at a high level are getting them for free, so they're not buying them. It's like,
Yeah.
what are you? Is it the beer league guys buying a $400? They ain't gonna make you score more goals.
dude, and it is so like insane. Now there's the youth programs, like especially the Learn to Play. I love you can rent equipment, you don't have to pay a dime for it. Besides the stick, of course, but you buy a I think I got a cheap wood stick to start. Like, great, fantastic. But also like the barriers, just what you have to do. Like you have to pay like USA Hockey a $50 fee for to sign your kids up, and then you have to do this, and then you have to do that, and then you have the kiddie fund, and then you have this, and then you have all that, and it's like, I mean, right now, and that's not even to talk about the coaching, which I know you're a ref right now. I just went through all the coaching thing. I spent over the past 2 weeks, I spent over like 15, 16 hours worth of training, online training. I have an online course next week for 3.5 hours that I haven't even done yet. I'm already like $350 in. And I have to buy a freaking like a suit. It's $200. I'm like,
No, I mean,
Wow.
no, for real though.
Wow.
Shout out to all the good
That's
coaches out
amazing.
there. I mean,
Yeah,
putting in the time, and it is a big commitment financially and with the time
time-wise.
so.
But it's totally. I mean, I talk about Adeline's like the soccer thing. I mean, those guys doing that training. Coach Logan, Coach Bagger, if you're listening, I mean, you make a big impact with kids that I don't think they even realize of how positive impact they have. Like coaches like that, absolutely amazing, and you're making a huge positive impact in ton of athletes' lives, which is great. And that's where, like, I see the same thing. Once again, if I'm on the ice or doing some of that, baseball, whatever it is, but I agree. The cost just from the equipment to the signups, to all these different things, especially like CYC is different. We still do the CYC soccer, which is great. But then you have concession stand duty. You have all these little things. It's like, son of a gun. Holy cow. Totally get it. And I totally get why. And it's awesome organizations. But yeah. I wish they can help parents out just a little bit.
Yeah, we haven't gotten into that stuff. So financially, I mean, we're just spending. You've got multiple kids playing, so that adds up. But
I don't feel like
we haven't gotten to
cost
that.
prohibitive.
Yeah, I mean, and right now it was flagged, so it was basically a sign up fee, and you bought the jersey, so it wasn't too bad. But
I mean, definitely
we haven't hit that yet.
For my parents, I mean, they've told me like this just became their social life. I mean, we spent all of our time at the ball fields. Like their friends, they're still close with now. Like they became close through, as baseball parents,
I can see that. We were just talking about before the show. We were hanging out with one of Lincoln's buddies' parents that he's known through school, but now played soccer with and football with. And we're starting like, there's that pack of boys that are all playing the same sports, and we're talking more and more. So I can see how that happens, especially if these boys go longer and get more committed. I mean, that is your social time. So I see that 100%.
Maybe one more thing to put a bow on. We talked about just like the pressures of, do they need to be so serious about one sport at a young age? Like our kids are still pretty young. I feel like pre-puberty, they're not growing into their body yet. Michael Jordan was a late bloomer. He got cut from his high school baseball team. If the kids love the sport enough, they want to put in the work. I still think there's time for them. And I don't think they should really latch onto a sport until maybe that teenage age. Mike, maybe you feel differently. Like you were a high level hockey player. Shane started at a young age now. I mean, are you seeing it in him where like this is going to be his thing, or you think he's going to?
Possibly. I'm like a big proponent though, because like most NHLers or anybody in the pros, if you look back at their youth career, they played multiple sports.
Skates at 3 and
then they played multiple sports.
Yeah,
they might have been like, they played hockey obviously, but then they were also on the baseball and the football team or whatever too.
Yeah.
So like there's a lot of statistics out there now that like playing multiple sports trains different parts of your bodies, and
Yeah.
it makes you better at maybe the one that you're really focusing on. So I think it's good to have that.
Prevent some of those overuse injuries.
Exactly. So like, hockey's in the fall, and then in the spring, Shane will play a little bit of soccer or something like that. And then in the summer, maybe something different. So I think it's important to try to do as many as they'll enjoy doing.
Keep seasons for them.
Yeah. And it won't get them burnt out then too, like you just said. So it kind of, both ends of the sword there, like you get a lot done. So
I like that. Like, you don't have to have your kid in the same sport year round. Like, they're not going to lose anything. If anything, they're going to gain stuff by trying different things. Now, if they're begging you to go back to it and do it, then rightfully so. I mean, they have a love for that sport.
Yeah.
But I love the different challenges that bring in. I mean, I did that with hockey and baseball, like I said. I mean, and it was so much fun.
And it was a detriment to me probably that I did have to, and it was out of necessity, have to focus on one sport. It probably did. I probably maybe could have even went further if I would have had some other skills, like other sports that I played that developed skills that would have helped hockey. So, and again, I did play at a high level, high enough for me. So, but maybe I could have went a little bit further. I don't know. So you could play the what if game all night.
Right.
I'm happy with what I did. So
I think Jerry Rice was like a ballet dancer, helped him with his footwork.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
maybe.
no, that's a good point. I didn't know that. Fun fact, Johnny.
There you go.
Real quick, I was watching pregame for NFL on Sunday, and they're doing a profile on the Colts running back. What's his name? Taylor. And they were doing his profile from high school, and like, he wasn't just a football player. He could have been a scientist. He was super smart, but he was in the chess club. He was like on the drama club. But he also played football and ran track and all these other different things. He's a very well-rounded individual. I'd hate to see these kids like hang all their hopes and dreams and only do one thing, and then that's over.
You're doing a disservice to yourself if you focus just on one thing.
Yeah,
I agree. No, great episode. I thought this was fantastic.
Yeah, I feel like we could go on.
I love
part
sports.
2.
Me too.
It's enough, and we could probably talk about it more. So drop your comments below, whether you're watching on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Give us a follow, like, share, anything helps. Like, honestly, we're having fun cutting these episodes and doing this. So, please share.
There might be some travel sport parents out there that disagree with us. Chime in.
Let's hear it.
Well, and we'll definitely incorporate. We've had a lot of good comments and people bringing some stuff in. We'll definitely work through shows with some of those different topics and bringing that in. I think that's great. So keep on commenting as you're going through it, and we appreciate all you. And have a good night.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Thanks, guys.
See y'all.
We love you.
Bye.